Hi, I'm Steve Nunich. I'm the founder of Payara, and I'm also responsible for product and product management at Payara. And part of that is creating the roadmaps for our products. So, what I want to talk about today is really how we are changing how we do roadmaps within the Payara team. We've started an initiative called Open Roadmaps, and what these are going to do is we're going to basically open our roadmap out to community of users and community of customers to get input and feedback. So briefly, I'll talk about our process for product management and then show where our open roadmap is and how you can contribute. So if we look at our product management process, the aim of our product management process really is to ensure that we build the best products for our users. And we have 5 phases on our open roadmap. The first is we select requirements and issues that have been collated by our engineering team, by our sales team, by our marketing team, and by community. We keep those issues on our internal Jira boards. But when we've decided within the team that we want to move one forward into the product set, we basically move them onto the public board on GitHub, where the first phase is select. So basically, the team meets once a month. We go through all our new feature ideas, and then we select which ones we want to take forward. And once selected, they'll be placed onto the roadmap in the selected column. The key thing really that we do there is we're looking at the whole set of ideas that we've got, and we collect these from GitHub. We collect them also, like I said, from internal Jiras, and then we decide and prioritize and think which ones will have the biggest impact. We then move to what's called the evaluate phase. In the evaluate phase, what we're doing is actually describing the problem in customer and user terms. So we're trying to get our engineers to think more and more into how users would use our product, use Payara Server or Payara Micro or Cloud Connectors or any of the products that we produce. And they have to put together something which describes the user problem and how the feature would solve that problem in non-technical terms, more in user stories and in user language. And once we've done that, we review all the issues. The next phase that we'd move into would be design. So basically, we'd look at the user evaluations, the community evaluations, and then we decide which one's going to move into software design, and which is the point where engineering and things get much more technical. During the design phase, we describe the features that are going to be built in technical terms. So what user interfaces it may need, what AS admin commands, if it was for Payara Server, how it would look from a security perspective, from a data perspective, from administration perspective. And then once those designs have been approved through the team, through review cycle, then they move into the engineering build. Obviously, build is where we build out the feature. The code gets committed into GitHub, and we move into release. And release is when that is obviously selected for one of our periodic releases, either monthly or quarterly release. So the big change that we're doing, all this used to happen internally at Payara. So the big change we're doing at the moment is we're moving all this onto GitHub. So if I take a look at where you can find this on GitHub. So in our top level repository, so this is our GitHub repository or GitHub organization. Within the Payara Founder organization, there's a single project, and that project is called Open Roadmap. And this is where we are moving issues through that cycle, which I've just described. So if you click on the Open Roadmap, you can see that we have the same columns that I showed on the picture. We basically are creating GitHub issues and using normal GitHub capabilities for each idea that we have to improve product. And when I'm talking about product, on here covers all Payara Server, Payara Micro, our cloud connectors, monitoring console, or anything else that we're going to create that makes up the Payara platform. So when issues sort of bubble up from Payara internally, they ended up in the selected column, and then they move, like I said before, into evaluation, design, build, and then release. And when we go to release, we'll put a milestone on there. And putting all this on GitHub really gives us that openness, so you can see what we are thinking of, and you can also add comments, collaborate, upvote issues that you think are important and help us shape the issues. I mean, the reasons why we are doing this is essentially to create better product. We want to ensure that products we create are meeting the needs of the user community. The more we meet the needs of the user community out there, the more Payara will get adopted, and the better for the whole of the user base. The other reason we're doing this really is also to challenge our engineers to collaborate more with users out in the community, ask you questions, gain feedback, again, so that they can validate their ideas against real world scenarios. So on the board, you can see that you have the issue described, and you can go to the full issue description, and we've got, and we have a description of what the issue is. People can upvote the issue. We've got people upvoting already. And as it moves into design, we'll add more information around what the feature will look like, and that allows people to, in a very simple way, collaborate with the Payara team on defining what those features could be and how that would help solve your problems. These will end up given a milestone, and that will indicate to you when, which version of Payara this is likely to hit, and also any commits obviously will be associated with his issue, so we'll be able to go back and see exactly which code was used and which code created and resolved the issue. So finally, I'd just like to say, please get involved with this. We are really looking for feedback on, your feedback really on how to make Payara better for the community. So please take a look at the roadmaps. This is where all our future development is going to be shown. It'll be always up to date. So in my role as product manager, I update this once a week. So please get involved. If you have new issues you'd like, new features or new capabilities you'd like to see in a platform, just raise an issue against the relevant repo and GitHub, and that will get picked up. So thank you very much for listening. Please get involved, and we build a better Payara. Thanks.